Well, we've got everything you need to know about prescription drugs and how they can change your life for better or for worse. Here with more on Intervene MD is Dr. Todd Joy. How are you, Dr. Todd?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well and great to have you here with us. And
Pleasure to be here.
All of this is being talked about because there's actually some sort of a take-back day or prescription drug take-back day. Tell me about that.
Correct. That started at this time last year, and the Office of National Drug Control Policy in Washington is trying to come up with ways to get prescription drugs disposed of properly, primarily through pharmacies. But until that policy gets established, the DEA is doing twice a year drug take-back days that are usually handled at police stations, and the one coming up is this Saturday at most of the local police stations.
And it's so important because you were just talking about this, but we've had issues with this. I mean, this is all over the country, but especially here in South Carolina. There's some people that are getting a hold of these prescription drugs that might be expired, unused, that you just have put away in the cabinet. And that's very dangerous for someone it's not being prescribed to.
Correct. And the same Office of National Drug Control Policy has reported that next to marijuana, prescription medications are the most commonly used drugs among teens to get high.
So easy to get, though.
Yes, and the Partnership for Drug-Free America has said that 60% of teens who are abusing prescription painkillers started before they were age 15.
Wow.
And these medications, painkillers are about half the problem. The other half of the problem are anti-anxiety medications, stimulants for ADD and these type of things, as well as sedatives.
And we're not talking about just using them, but also trying to sell them to others.
Correct, correct. It's a big problem. We're a society where we like to hang on to things, medications in particular. If you go to the ER and you have a kidney stone, you get dental work done. In my case, if you come and you have an episode of back pain, you're given some narcotics.
Yeah,
you take two
time.
or three of them, you put them in the cabinet, and you forget about them. The other issue with this is you may want to get rid of these medications, but you're concerned about the environmental disposal aspects of it, which we hope this policy will take care of. But in the meantime, this is a great opportunity to bring all your medicines, whether they're narcotics or blood pressure medications or antidepressants, anything can be accepted, no questions asked, at the police stations that are participating in this local area.
And doctor, talk about those expired drugs really quickly. That can be dangerous as well, because I know some people, they'll still take them, or they will just disregard the fact that it's expired. They'll just keep taking them and say, oh, it's fine, it's not a big deal. But there's a reason why it's there.
Right. Well, particularly with things going on with our economy, people want to try to maximize their dollar, and you need to be careful of that because medications do have expiration dates. We want to try to get them off the streets, primarily for environmental reasons as well as our safety of our kids.
And speaking of safety of our kids, the importance of taking drugs that were prescribed to you. I know we talked about this just a little earlier in the interview, but a lot of times I've noticed that people will let their child, maybe if you had an antibiotic because you were sick, then you'll say, well, we won't go to the doctor, we'll just give you what I had. But that might not work for them. It might not be safe for them.
No, different bodies handle medications differently, different
Right.
ages handle medications differently, they're metabolized differently. You know, gosh, if you listen to the Michael Jackson
there you go. That's a great example.
That case is going on forever with nitpicky details on how bodies metabolize medications. It's different in everybody.
So the doctor, you need to make sure that you go to your doctor and figure out what exactly they need.
Right. You know, medications, narcotics in particular, are very important. Medications, all prescription medications are very important to treat various causes. Can we do a better job at monitoring them? Yes. We need to do a better job at educating patients as well as the public. 25% of teens say that their parents do not discuss the problems with prescription drugs with them. Parents are doing a better job discussing standard street drugs with them, but parents are not doing a well enough job discussing the dangers of prescription drugs. And patients come into our office, we certainly realize that prescription narcotics and other medications are necessary to treat chronic pain conditions, but we want to try to do what we can to identify other ways that we can treat the pain.
Yeah.
If they need narcotics, fine. But there are other ways with interventional pain techniques, other medications, physical therapy, other modalities we can use to try to at least minimize the patient's exposure to these medications as well as the public's exposure.
Right, because dependency is becoming a really big problem. People just saying, you know, even though the pain might be over, I still need it. And you don't still need it, but you can't feel the difference.
Exactly, and about 30% of teens believe that narcotics and prescription medications are not addictive, which
especially with
is a
sleeping
problem.
medications, they can be.
Exactly.
For sure. All right, well, tell us again where we can find the dispose day.
Right. The DEA works in conjunction with the local police departments, and I do know at this moment that they're being collected at the Mount Pleasant Police Station. They'll be collected at downtown Charleston, the Air Force Base, Goose Creek. I have a feeling that by Saturday that the city of North Charleston will be doing it, as well as probably Georgetown. But the ones that I know of right now are the ones I just mentioned.
Wonderful. Well, Dr. Joy, we really appreciate you being with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
so very much.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too. All right. Well, coming up on Low Country Live, much more right after this break.